Deep thinkers process life with emotional and intellectual depth that others may overlook because they are wired to experience the world in a way that is richer, heavier, and more meaningful than what appears on the surface. They don't simply move through life, they absorb it. Every moment, every expression, every conversation becomes a layer of insight that they carry inside them. While others may experience an event and move on, a deep thinker revisits it, questions it, and looks for the lesson, the meaning, or the hidden truth behind it. They reflect not because they want to complicate life, but because their mind instinctively seeks understanding. They analyze emotions, both their own and others, with a sensitivity that allows them to sense what is unspoken, to feel what is unsaid. They can read the energy in a room, notice shifts in someone's mood, and sense when something is wrong even before words are exchanged. This emotional awareness often becomes their quiet superpower, helping them connect with people on a level that feels comforting, safe, and deeply genuine. Their intellectual depth also sets them apart. Deep thinkers question the purpose behind actions, the logic behind decisions, and the reason behind experiences. They don't blindly accept things, they examine them. They reflect on life's patterns, explore their own behaviors, and constantly search for the why behind the what. This introspection helps them grow in ways many people never think about. They evolve from their mistakes, heal from their pain with awareness, and make choices rooted in wisdom rather than impulse. Their mind is always awake, always alert, always searching for clarity. But this depth comes with challenges. Deep thinkers often feel misunderstood because their thoughts don't match the speed of the world around them. They take longer to trust, longer to speak, longer to decide, not out of fear, but out of thoughtfulness. They want to be sure, to be genuine, to be meaningful. And in a fast-paced world, thoughtfulness can look like hesitation. They are often told they think too much, but the truth is that they simply think deeply. Their brain cannot accept life at face value, it naturally dives beneath the surface. This depth also means they experience emotions with intensity. Happiness feels brighter, sadness feels heavier, love feels deeper, and heartbreak feels like a storm that takes time to pass. They don't numb themselves or move on quickly because they feel the full weight of their experiences. But this emotional depth allows them to empathize in ways many cannot. When someone shares their pain, a deep thinker doesn't just listen, they feel it. They understand it. They hold space for it. They see beyond the words into the heart that is speaking. Deep thinkers are also natural observers. They notice the way someone's eyes shift when they lie, the tremble in a voice hiding fear, or the way a person's energy changes when they're hurting. They don't miss the small things because they know the small things often reveal the truth. And though they often prefer solitude, it's not because they dislike people. Solitude is their sanctuary. It's where their mind finds peace, where their emotions can settle, and where their inner world feels safe. Quiet moments give them room to breathe, reflect, and reconnect with themselves. Their silence and solitude are forms of strength, not signs of weakness, because for deep thinkers, quiet is not emptiness, it is clarity, and solitude is not loneliness, it is alignment. While the world tends to associate silence with shyness or insecurity, deep thinkers understand that silence is a place where the mind can breathe, where emotions can settle, and where truth can be heard without interference. In their quiet moments, they find themselves, and in their solitude, they gather the strength that others overlook. They do not fear being alone because they know that solitude allows them to listen to the voice inside them, the one that gets drowned out by noise, expectations, and the rush of everyday life. They would rather sit in stillness and understand their thoughts than bury them under distractions. This willingness to face themselves, to reflect on their emotions, and to analyze their experiences is a level of courage many people avoid. Silence is not their escape, it is their foundation. Solitude is where they process the world, where they heal from emotional wounds, and where they recharge their mental energy. Others may see them step away and assume they are lonely or withdrawn, but deep thinkers step away because they respect their inner world. They know that their sensitivity, their awareness, and their depth cannot survive in constant noise. They need space to think freely, space to breathe deeply, and space to feel safely. Their silence becomes a shield, a way to protect their mental and emotional clarity from environments that drain them. In a world that values constant talking, instant reactions, and constant social engagement, the ability to sit quietly with oneself is a rare strength. Deep thinkers choose silence not because they have nothing to say, but because they don't waste words. They speak only when their thoughts are fully formed, when their emotions are understood, and when their words carry meaning. They don't seek validation through noise. They don't need attention to feel alive. Their dignity comes from internal stability, not external approval. Their solitude is not a sign that they are avoiding life, it is proof that they are bold enough to stand alone when needed. They are not afraid to disconnect from the world in order to reconnect with themselves. They know that solitude sharpens intuition, strengthens self-awareness, and deepens emotional intelligence. When they step back from others, it's not to hide, it's to realign. In their quiet space, they reflect on what matters, who matters, and what they truly want. They gain insights that others miss because most people run from silence, while deep thinkers run toward it. Their solitude teaches them patience, resilience, and emotional control. It enables them to handle life's difficulties with calmness because they have spent so much time understanding their inner world. They are not easily manipulated, overwhelmed, or lost because they know themselves deeply. This level of self-awareness comes only from those willing to sit in silence and face their own thoughts. Deep thinkers also know that solitude protects their sensitivity. They feel deeply, and constant noise can overwhelm them. Their quiet time allows them to release emotions, regain balance, and protect their mental well-being. They may seem distant at times, but distance is how they preserve their strength. They retreat not to escape the world but to return stronger, wiser, and more centered. True strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet. Sometimes it is still. Deep thinkers are rare souls whose sensitivity, awareness, and insight bring meaning and clarity to the world because they experience life through a lens that goes far beyond the ordinary. Where most people see routine, deep thinkers see purpose. Where others see simple interactions, deep thinkers interpret emotions, motivations, and unspoken truths. Their minds connect dots that others never notice, weaving together understanding that can illuminate even the darkest corners of human experience. Their sensitivity is not a weakness, it is a heightened form of perception. They feel more deeply, not because they are fragile, but because they are receptive to the emotional frequencies most people ignore. They sense joy in small moments and pain in hidden places. They notice shifts in energy, changes in tone, and details that reveal the deeper layers of a person's soul. This allows them to understand others with compassion and see beyond appearances with sincerity. Their awareness acts like an inner compass, guiding them toward truth even in situations clouded by chaos or confusion. They can read a room without a single word spoken, feel tension before it becomes visible, and recognize authenticity before others do. They understand what drives people, what wounds them, and what they truly need. Their insight gives them the ability to offer wisdom that feels almost healing. People often open up to them easily because their presence feels safe, honest, and non-judgmental. A deep thinker listens not just with their ears, but with their heart, absorbing emotions and offering clarity that others struggle to find alone. Their minds operate like quiet lanterns, illuminating paths when others feel lost. They bring meaning to situations that seem pointless, turning pain into growth, confusion into understanding, and emptiness into introspection. They speak in ways that resonate, think in ways that inspire, and live in ways that awaken others to deeper truth. But being such a rare soul comes with its own set of burdens. Their heightened sensitivity can make them feel overwhelmed by the intensity of life. Loud environments drain them, superficial conversations bore them, and emotional dishonesty deeply unsettles them. They often feel different, disconnected, or out of place because they cannot and will not live on the surface. They crave depth in relationships, purpose in actions, and honesty in emotional exchanges. They are not easily impressed by material things. They value intentions, authenticity, and the invisible qualities that define a person's character. Many deep thinkers struggle with feeling misunderstood. People may label them as distant, overly serious, or too introspective, when in truth they are simply observing the world at a level others rarely reach. They prefer silence to noise, meaning to small talk, and truth to convenience. This makes them stand out in a world that often rewards speed over thought, distraction over reflection, and quantity over quality. Yet, despite these struggles, deep thinkers continue to bring profound clarity to the lives of others. Their advice is thoughtful, their empathy is sincere, and their presence is grounding. They help people feel seen, heard, and understood in ways that are rare and precious. They can transform someone's perspective with a single conversation because their insight cuts through emotional fog and reveals what truly matters. In the end, deep thinkers are the quiet lights in a noisy world. They may not always speak the loudest or move the fastest, but their presence carries a depth that touches hearts and changes lives. They remind us that there is beauty in reflection, strength in silence, and power in understanding. Their minds wander into places others overlook, finding meaning in moments that seem insignificant and wisdom in experiences most people ignore. They feel deeply, love sincerely, and observe truthfully, and because of that, they bring a kind of clarity that the world desperately needs. Even when they feel misunderstood, even when their depth feels heavy, they continue to think, feel, grow, and contribute in ways that leave ripples long after they are gone. Deep thinkers are not here to blend in, they are here to elevate, to enlighten, and to awaken the deeper parts of the human soul. If you are one of them, never apologize for your depth, your sensitivity, or your insight. These qualities are your gift, your power, and your purpose. The world may not always recognize it, but it is shaped, healed, and inspired by minds like yours, quiet, thoughtful, and beautifully profound.